my god, I don't know if I can use this now. It's been tainted by weird kink stuff. Grace. Grace. How could you give this away? This is obviously deeply personal. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Just Another Struggling Writer, the beleaguered author's one-stop shop for commiseration and, hopefully, inspiration. Today I'll be doing a small book haul for you. This last weekend I was able to go to Half Price Books and pick up some books that I've really been looking forward to. Some I really needed to add to my collection, and others that I just wanted to give a try after hearing so much about them. Now, before we get into the books themselves, just a quick FYI, I do all my physical book shopping at Half Price Books. It is a chain of secondhand bookstores with locations all across Texas, which is where I live, and that's how I prefer to get all of my books. While they do mostly secondhand sales, there are also some new books there as well. As always, if you can, support your local or independently owned bookstore. First up, we have what many consider to be a classic of the genre, a staple, one written by a much beloved author and titan of the fantasy genre, and that is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. Now, it might be sacrilegious to say this, but I've actually never read Mistborn. I've never read any Brandon Sanderson book. I'm a little bit behind the bandwagon when it comes to reading older fantasy, and this is one of the books that I just happened to miss, and one of the authors somehow that I happened to miss. And now that I'm getting back into reading a lot more, I figure now is the perfect time to get into it. First published in 2006, Mistborn is the first of the Mistborn trilogy, part of Brandon Sanderson's famed Cosmere universe. It has a 4.47 rating on Goodreads with over 600,000 ratings. So obviously it's well loved, revered, and I just don't feel like I can skip it. Next up, we have a book that I have actually read before, but was just looking to add to my physical collection, and that is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. This book came out in 2015 and went on to win her the Hugo Award the year it came out. And of course, as we all know now, the sequel and the final installment of the trilogy also won the Hugo Award, making her the first person ever to three-peat. I absolutely love this book. I always tell people it was a visceral reading experience for me. It was difficult to get through, but in the best way possible. I really love it. I think it's must read for anyone who loves fantasy. I know there are some people who really don't care for her writing style. I wrote second person fan fiction as a teenager, and so the second person really doesn't throw me at all. I actually really enjoyed reading it. So like I said, this book was just everything I ever wanted in a book, all wrapped up into one in terms of the prose and the literary style. And then the storytelling was just phenomenal, and it really pulled at me. It affected me in ways that a book hasn't ever since. It feels like a death march to get through, but like I said, that's not a bad thing when it comes to this book. It is pulling at my emotions in a way that you want a book to do. Next up, we have another classic, a book that is loved the world over and considered to be one of the all-time great fantasy series, and of course that is The Eye of the World, the first of the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. Now, I understand this book has kind of some divisive opinions about it. Some people consider it to be kind of dry and kind of tropey. Others think it's a little intimidating as the first in a series of at least 14 novels, not counting the companions, and has over 1,000 named characters. But I'm not intimidated by this at all. I'm actually looking forward to getting into it. I've been looking for a long series to get into. I missed this one as well. It came out in 1990 when I was just a little girl, and I have since to pick it up. So when I saw it on the shelf at Half Price Books, I thought, why the hell not? Let's give it a shot. Next up, I have a trilogy that I have been looking for months and months, and the store by my house never had it. So I eventually just went on the Half Price Books website and ordered them all individually. They came from all across the country to complete my collection, and that is the Book of the Ancestor series by Mark Lawrence, starting with, of course, Red Sister, which I mentioned in my introduction video as one of my all-time favorites in the way that it affected me, the way I look at the world, and just my opinion of fantasy as a genre in general. For me, this series is ultimately about friendship and the connections we make with people whether we like it or not. But if that's not enough to entice you, it's actually about nun assassins in a science fantasy based setting with an almost exclusively female cast. I've been waiting for the physical copies to come in to finish reading this series, so I'm really excited to have them in my hands. Next up, I have a couple of newer releases, the first being She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. This book has been described as Mulan meets the Song of Achilles, and with a pitch like that, where can you go wrong? And with the sequel due to come out next month, now is the perfect time to pick it up. And lastly, for this book haul, we have Witch King by Martha Wells. Now, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I picked this book up for completely superficial reasons. I have been obsessed with the term Witch King ever since Éowyn slew the Witch King of Angmar in Return of the King. And so when this book came out, I was just like, I don't care what it's about. I'm fucking getting it. But the books weren't the only thing I got this weekend. I also got my welcome package from Sarah without an H's Patreon. I'm super excited about it. In that package, I got this cute little bookmark that she custom made that we're going to be using for our book club reads. I'm super excited about it. It's got, when we read and our rating and all of that. Super, super cute. Love it. Then she also gave me these cute little stickers. BFF Book Club, Besties Forever. Super excited. Again, I love Sarah's content. I think she's really funny. I really adore her personality. I think we would really get along if we ever met. So I'm super excited to join her Patreon and this book club that we're going to be doing together. And after we hit Half Price Books, me and my daughter went to Goodwill just to get some thrifting in, and we were walking around, and I just so happened to see this cute little cup that's got dragons on it. It says Anatomy of a Dragon, Dragon Knowledge, all kinds of cute things on there. And then on the other side, it says Dragon is my therapy, and then the name Grace. I'm guessing Grace, whoever you are, she had this custom made. Not sure how or why it ended up at Goodwill, but I love dragons. Dragon is actually my Chinese zodiac sign, so I've always felt something of an affinity for them. And it's just super cute. It's just got all kinds of information on here. Types of dragon wings, dragons of the world, anatomy of a dragon. Oh my god. Oh my. I should have looked at this more closely before now, but on Anatomy of a Dragon, by its mouth, it says Vor Machine. Oh my god. Oh my god. Please don't Google that if you don't already know what it is. Well, I guess now I know what to do with my stickers from Sarah. Let's see if I can cover it up. What do you think? You think I can get away with doing that? Oh my gosh. And that's everything I have for you today. If you've read any of the books I got in today's haul, I'd love to chat with you about them in the comments. If you have any suggestions for other books I should add to my physical collection, I'd love to hear about those too. If you know what Vor is, we will never speak of this again. As always, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!